Try to mute myself because it's been 2 weeks. I might forget how to do any of this. You never know. Hang on. Watch. Good morning. I recognize the rain may have dampened the enthusiasm, but I also recognize that the rain can never dampen the joy of being able to gather with one another and to celebrate the first Sunday of Advent for this year. So welcome to worship with us this morning, this first Advent of 2022. Let's go ahead and take a few minutes here and go over the announcements that you'll see in your bulletin. Let's start with the green thing here first. And then I have a couple other things here too. This is some of the things that are going on with our community throughout this Advent season. You might want to put this on your fridge at home. Again, anyone who is able to donate to the Fairview Brethren in Christ food pantry, please do donate those items back there. They are very much appreciated, especially now during this season. Today is Hanging of the Greens. I'm going to talk about that in just a few moments to help give us some context for it. Also, the adoptive family for Christmas, the tree is decorated out there with the tags. If you do choose a gift to give, please go ahead and have that wrapped and under the tree by Sunday, December 11th. So 2 Sundays from now would be the ideal for that. And the 18th, sorry. Sunday, December. No, let's not tell them that. Let's tell them the 11th. No, it's December 11th. That's what it is. Not the 18th. Sue was wrong. We're going to ignore Sue. District Cookie Camp. Boy, cookies are delicious, aren't they? Except that sometimes it could be a bit much to make them all yourself. But you could do it through the district. And you can place orders. And then, even better, you can help. Which would be even more of a treat, and you can come and be part of that here at Salem. That's going to be on December 9th from 12 to 5, and then 6 to 9, and then Saturday, December 10th from 9 to 1, with pickup from 2 to 4. That next day, that December 11th, I'm assuming Karen will curl up in a ball and sleep somewhere, because unless she's eating all the sugar from that day to be ready for the next morning, who knows. The Christmas Card Fund is something we do each Advent season. I want to remind you of what that is as well, too. In lieu of sending individual Christmas cards to church members, in which you would pay for the stamps, instead, take that money and make a donation towards the Christmas Card Fund. That then goes to families in need. And so if you know of a family in need, please do talk to myself or Tom Hissong or Sue Wampler. And the Christmas Card Fund goes from December 1st to January 1st. There is a women's Christmas banquet, which I know the sign-up sheet is already posted out there for the men to volunteer, to serve. And by volunteer, I mean you probably are told you're doing this, or you can just sign up and do it and be a good person with it. For the women, we are also, the entertainment that evening is Nautical Theme. That is the band of Matt Shetler. He will be here performing with his bandmate that day as well, too. Christmas Eve, candlelight and communion service will be Saturday, December 24th at 7. And then we have Christmas on Sunday morning as well, too. So, also one more thing. I almost forgot this. Can't believe I am. Winter Blast, District Camping and Retreat Ministries, will be at Cricket Holler this year. Kindergarten through 5th grade will be January 13th and 14th, with 6th through 12th grade being 20th and the 21st. Any questions about that? I know, Karen, have you officially retired at that point? Okay, so you can talk to Karen or Sue, are your 2 contacts about that as well, too. Now, let me talk about today, a quick one. So you'll see the order of worship looks a little bit different than what we're used to. The order of worship emulates what we did last year for Hanging of the Green service. And the way we treated it's kind of like a family get-together. And we decorate the church. We're going to be playing some music in the background. There is coffee and donuts. And also, after we decorate the church, we're going to have a carry-in. So please stick around for that as well, too. Because we're doing it that way this year, 2 things to note. One, the service looks different because it is different. You'll see there's no offertory in there. If you have offering to give, there's a box out in the narthex right by where the bulletins are. Please place your offering in there. Also, I omitted something by accident. I want to add in the children's story, which will go, Tess Warner has been gracious enough to bring her gifts to us after her first gift and before Scripture. So if you look there, that's where the children's story is going to be. I had forgotten to put that in there. Karen kindly reminded me that it needs to be there, so oops. The other part of that is while we're decorating today, if you aren't comfortable decorating, which is a possibility, just sit and enjoy the conversations with others. Enjoy the fellowship with one another. I went back and I read the stuff we did about leading up to doing this last year, and it was evident then, as much as it is now, how much we enjoy being with one another. So enjoy being with one another. Do that today. And if you are able to help, even better. The decorations are out in the narthex. We'll give you some direction as we get there, and we'll make it work. Okay? All right, moving forward as well, too, with some other announcements. I think I've made a lot of them. Oh, one other thing, Wednesday night check-in still occurs. If you would like to be a part of that, please do talk to Karen. She has been running that since February. And yeah, wow, that's a whole lot of things I said. Yes, buddy? It's not time to decorate the church yet. That's been his question since we got home last night. Is it time to decorate the church? Not yet. How about now? Not yet. Not yet. Patience. Where's your patience muscles? There's your patience muscles. Good. All right. Do you have any announcements? Yep, I see one over there. Stay there, bub.
As usual, this time of year, deacons always send out cards and stuff, but I think our shut-ins and people appreciate more cards and more calls and more visits this time of year. So I put out in the narthex just a little, I tried to make it easy on our shut-ins with their addresses, phone numbers, etc. If you'd pick one up and make contact with them during the season, I think they'd really appreciate that, and we'd appreciate your help contacting them also. So I put it out here in the narthex. You can grab a card and just mark, well, we'll know their cards will be gone. And if you would, just mark that you're going to visit or send them a card or call them something cheerful. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Are there any other announcements we would offer this morning? Seeing no other announcements, I invite you to stand where you are, turn, wave, greet one another, and say good morning.
If you'll please continue standing for the call to worship, and that's found in your bulletin. This time of worship, this time of waiting, is a time of preparing.
We are preparing ourselves to receive the Lord.
We are intentional with our waiting, our planning, our time. Let us then use this time, this season of Advent, as a season of examination and preparation.
So that we may be ready to receive whatever the Savior child brings to us. Amen.
Okay, Tess Warner is now going to share with us, "O come, all ye faithful." Thank you, Tess. And now, would the children please come forward for the children's story?
You might want to come up. Uh-oh. Thank you. Good morning, guys. I know that we've turned the corner. We had Thanksgiving, and now we're heading into Advent and the Christmas season, but I want us to back up a little bit because I have one more thing about gratitude and about being thankful. Now, I'm going to tell you some things that I'm thankful for myself, and I have them down here. Hopefully I can read it. Oh, that works pretty good. These things are amazing, how much stuff you can find on them. Anyway, in the morning, tomorrow morning, there's going to be an alarm clock go off. Do you guys hear the alarm clock in the morning? Do you hear the alarm clock in the morning? Do you hear mom or dad say, "It's time to get up"? Do you hear that? Sometimes. And how do you feel? Are you just, "Oh, I'm so glad I get to get up"? Generally, you wake up on your own. Good for you. Well, when that alarm goes off, that nasty sound, I do not like it. But being thankful about it means I can hear. You can hear your parents when they wake you up. You can hear in your mind when you wake up, but you can hear, and that is something we should all be thankful for. So tomorrow morning, when you hear somebody tell you it's time to get up, or your body says it's time to get up, you should, I can hear that. I can hear that, because there are people who are deaf who can't hear. And then, it's dark these days, and I miss the morning light in the summertime where it gets light real early. And I think, oh my gosh, it's so dark. I should just stay in this nice warm bed. But I have responsibilities, so I have to get up. So I open my eyes. Sometimes somebody will turn on the light and it's really, really bright. Like when you walk into the bathroom and turn on the light, oh, it's really, really bright, isn't it? Bugs me. But we should be thankful that we can see the light, because there are people who are blind who can't see anything.
Like green.
Yes, like you can see, oh, your green guy in there?
Yeah.
He's blind. He's
Because he has googly eyes.
because he has googly eyes. But aren't you happy you can see? We can see all the colors. We can see all the people. That's something we can be grateful for. Some people can't see. Now, I don't usually get up first. Tom gets up. He just pops right out of bed and gets up and gets going, and I hear him. But I just pull those warm blankets around me, and I think, oh, that feels so good. This bed is so comfortable. Do I have to get up? And then I think, you know, I should be really thankful I have a warm bed, a soft bed. I have squishy pillows. I have blankets that are so cuddly, because there are people out in the world who don't have any of those things. And we should be thankful that we are privileged to have so many good things. And then when we first get up, now it's not as bad as it used to be when I taught school and had 2 kids at home and a husband that had a job, because we were slinging sandwiches for our lunches, and we were finding socks, and we were just searching through the clothes bin to find what we wanted, and then we had to find homework, and we had to find special things, and it was very hectic. But I should be thankful that I have the ability to do all those things and to be around people and my family. And some mornings we would be yelling and we would be carrying on, and I would try not to, but I am human, and sometimes tempers would flare. But isn't it nice to have family, to not be alone? And there are people in the world that are all alone. So we should be thankful for our family, even on hectic mornings. And then when you look at the breakfast table, yeah, it might be a bowl of cereal, and it might be a Pop-Tart, or it might be a roll, or it might be some eggs. It doesn't look, or bacon, you must like the bacon. It doesn't look like, when you serve breakfast, like what it does in the magazines. I don't have a fresh tablecloth on there. There aren't candles and a nice floral arrangement. Sometimes it's just a spoon and a bowl and the milk that you pour on. And yet, I do have enough food. And we have food. And there are people who don't have food. So you can see that although all these things we have to be thankful for, we have to be thankful for our jobs, we have to be thankful for our school, because there are places where kids can't go to school. And they don't learn to read. And oh gosh, what is there around that we don't read every day? We read all the time. There are words everywhere. There are so many things that we have to be thankful for. So I'm going to give you a task. And in my basket here, I have some bags. You get a bag. You get a bag. You get a bag.
I have a big.
And here's a little bag.
I got big.
Well, here, you can take this one. And, I don't know, since I have extras, I can give one to you, Dad. I can give one to you, Mom. Here you go. And inside, Isaac, do you want a bag? It has 10 pennies in it. Now, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with this. Here's the 10 pennies. And most of you have pockets, right? In your pants. You put those, tomorrow, you put those 10 pennies in your pocket, on your one side.
I just use my pocket scissors. Fit my.
Fit your hand. That'll be fine. Now, every time you can think of something to be thankful for tomorrow, take one of those pennies and put it in the other pocket. And the object is, can you think during the day that there are 10 things that you're thankful for, and you can go from one pocket to the thankful pocket? Make one pocket your penny pocket, make the other pocket your thankful pocket. And you can move one penny for every time you think of something you can be thankful for. And by the end of the day, it's going to be hopeful that you found 10 things during the day to be thankful for. And that'll help us get ready. We're starting with our hearts thankful, and one of the things we're thankful for is the Christmas season when Jesus is coming. So this is to get ready. So think, and parents, you can try it too. And gee, I have one more. No, I have a couple left. I have 3 left, and if somebody would like to have one of these, I will be happy to share these pennies. But it's a challenge. Can you think of 10 things during the day to be thankful for? And thank you for coming up, and we are going to go back to our classroom and do the decorating back there.
Our scripture reading is from Romans chapter 8, verses 5 to 6, and this is from the Common English Bible. People whose lives are based on selfishness think about selfish things, but people whose lives are based on the Spirit think about things that are related to the Spirit. The attitude that comes from selfishness leads to death, but the attitude that comes from the Spirit leads to life and peace. Our Advent reading is a mindset of simplicity. For many people, the busyness of the holiday season is stressful and hectic. It can be full of pressure, expense, disappointments, and tears. The unspoken pressure to give even better gifts the next Christmas becomes an albatross. Stores and ads beg us to purchase what is not really needed, and often we can't even name what we need. I remember the year my dad asked by his Christmas-loving granddaughter what he would most like for Christmas. Without missing a beat, he responded, January. There was one Christmas when I had no money for gifts. How could I bear enter the Christmas festivities without gifts for those I loved so dearly? So with heart in my hands, I put pen to paper, and for each person I thought of a poem that might bless them in some way, and then I wrote a prayer that merged the poem and their specific needs. I made these into small booklets, and they were my gifts that Christmas. I learned that was enough. We never want to disappoint our loved ones. All of our hurry-scurry during Advent is about wanting to show our love and devotion. But might there be a mindset that could simplify our demonstrations of love? Wouldn't it be fun on Christmas morning to see joy rather than exhaustion on our faces of our loved ones? Is there something each one needs that can't be wrapped in a box? Maybe small acts of simplicity are the best gifts of all. Simplicity is a path of grace patiently guiding us to peace. Loving God, may we set our minds on the things of the Spirit. Amen. And our next hymn is Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, and it's in the blue hymnal, number 71.
Again, this morning, we're doing things different. Different's not bad. And it's something we did last year kind of on a test, and it went really, really well. So we're going to do it again. We started doing hanging of the greens during worship services last year. Sometimes churches would do hanging of the greens as a special set-apart service at night. Or sometimes a few people would decorate the church and people would arrive that following Sunday and it would be decorated. The decision to do hanging of the greens during worship came about as the pandemic reality seemed to be nearing a place where we felt comfortable being near one another again, feeling a little more safe than before. By no means is it all done, as there are loved ones of ours who are still contracting it. And while the symptoms seem to have lessened, it doesn't take away from the fact that that was definitely a fearful time. So whenever we decided to put together the worship service as a hanging of the greens, the idea was make it kind of like your family getting together to decorate for Christmas. Now, that's a tricky one, right? Because let's be candid, we don't always like our families. Sometimes families are annoying. Sometimes they're crazy. Not us, family. We're normal. Obviously, we're the normal ones. Family, woo! We're the apple that fell far away from the tree, and other delusions we tell ourselves during the holidays. So why do we do it? Did we do it? Did we make hanging of the greens during worship as a way of transforming it into something holy? It's always holy when 2 or 3 are gathered in the name of Christ. So it's not a matter of making it sound something more than what it is. Instead, it's about showing that worship can take many different forms. And the many different forms of worship allow us amazing creativity. Decorating for Christmas is, for many people, a highlight of the Christmas season. The lights, the glitter, the music, the sentiment of joy. It's almost like a spectacle, and it's a one of amusement, of celebration, and indeed it is very pleasant. The season of pleasant music, lights, glitter, joy is also a season of expectant waiting. Now, the cliche is that kids wait for what's going to be under that Christmas tree. Like that's what they're waiting for. But we know there's something else there. What we are expectantly waiting for is the birth of a servant child king. Let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with the spectacle of Christmas in and of itself. There's nothing wrong with the decorations in and of themselves. There's nothing wrong with the music in and of itself. The struggle can become whenever we substitute the spectacle for the heart of what the season is. And the heart of the season is to be about preparing ourselves, preparing to receive this child king who's going to transform the way the world works, the way people understand life to be. Romans 8:5 puts it in this frame. It says, but people whose lives are based on the Spirit think about things that are related to the Spirit. So whenever we prepare ourselves, the idea for this season of waiting, whenever we're preparing to receive this child king, the idea is what's going to change for us? What's going to adapt for us? Where are we going to finally realize maybe we're the crazies in the family? Where are we going to change our views? Maybe. In this increasingly polarized world, in fact, it doesn't take much to see that, boy, nobody wants to change at all, do they? No, 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 no. Nobody wants to change. Just dig deeper. I'm always fascinated when that happens, and people who profess to be children of God are often the loudest adherents to that. Because the irony is, the birth of Jesus changed everything. It changed everything. And so when we celebrate that birth, this first Sunday, when we prepare for what's about to come, the question is, what might be changing for us as well too? When we pause and reflect on the Spirit, we might find that our desire for the spectacle, for the gifts, for the celebrations may take a different flavor, a different way, a different tone. So today I'm going to challenge you. I want you to consider something. Karen challenged the children with 10 pennies. Today, I'm going to challenge you to approach Advent differently. And start with it as we do hanging of the greens. Do it as you listen and as you share. Because as you also notice, we don't have joys and concerns in the bulletin as well too. Why is that? Because ideally, I want you to talk with one another. And more than that, I want you to hear one another. To ask, how are you doing? And not have it just be fine. But to share, how are you doing? Because if I get asked that question all the time now. Every day it feels like I'm asked that question. Some days the answer is breathing pretty well. Other days, having a hard time. So the challenge I have for you is this. Is there a mindset? Is there a way? Is there a complication during the season? Is there something that you do during Advent that is so incredibly frustrating, exhausting to do, but you do it all the time because it's expected? Maybe that needs to be put aside. Maybe this Advent can change that for you. Maybe instead of it being a spectacle, it can be simple. As the author of our reading this morning puts it, we never want to disappoint our loved ones. All of our hurry-scurry during Advent is about wanting to show our love and devotion. So the gifts in and of themselves, the spectacle in and of itself is fine. It's again, not the problem. It's also not a substitute for showing love and concern, celebration and worry. In a few moments, I'm going to invite Tess to bring her second gift of music for us today. And as you listen, think, what needs to change for me? What am I afraid to change? What needs to change for me? What can we experience that's not in gift form, but instead fulfills a need? What can we do to reflect the joy of the season, the spectacle of celebration, the hope of that Christmas morning each day that does not bring exhaustion and debt, but instead brings joy anew? After Tessa's done playing, I will then stand again and invite us to go and decorate. Decorations are out in the narthex. I'm going to have music playing over the speakers as well too. And of course, we all know why we're here. The carry-in afterwards. So, the food's cooking, it's going to smell. Oh, wait, no, we're here for another reason. For worship and fellowship. So treat that time, the start of Advent, as a way to see, what do I need to change? And enjoy the company of others, the stories of others, the laughter of others, the tears of others, and model God's love. Tess, will you please bring your second gift? Sisters and brothers, rise as you're able, and let us now prepare our space with the hanging of the greens.
Midnight, small town, no room, no sound on the dark streets of Bethlehem. The poor and the wise bowed down at his side to see what heaven had brought to them. They'd soon find out, they'd go and tell what's in the name Emmanuel. When God is